Guys, eyeshadow palettes. There's so many of them. They're everywhere. They're just all over. Eyeshadow palettes, eyeshadow palettes. Eyeshadow palettes everywhere. Oh my gosh. Look at them all. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing though, I know this looks really overwhelming and I was trying to make it overwhelming on purpose, but I'm going to help you decipher really what eyeshadow palettes you should be having in your collection, kind of what are essentials and what you could probably do without. So what I'm going to start off with is, because there are a range of prices here. I'm going to start off with probably the more affordable options and then I'm going to kind of work my way up. Don't really have anything outrageously expensive here in this collection. Okay, so my first and absolute favorite affordable eyeshadow palette. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have heard of The Balm Cosmetics, but The Balm is really labalm.com. Okay, seriously, like this stuff it's wonderful. So basically this palette here, it's a very sturdy cardboard sort of packaging, which is perfect to travel with. And I like that it's magnetic as well. So like when you go like this, it'll just stay shut. No worrying about if it's gonna spill everywhere. But basically the reason why I love this palette so much is one, it actually comes with a mirror, which you all know how much I love my mirrors. So, but what I do really like about this palette is that they are all matte shades. And plus the names are super cute. Like, come on. Meet Matrimony, like that is really cute. And then all of the names are like Matt Lynn, Matt Lopez, Matt Reed, like I don't know, it's just they're all the names are always so creative. But what I love about these particular shades in general is that there are cool tones and warm tones and light and dark shades and obviously your transitions. So this is an essential eyeshadow palette. I feel like if you can find an all matte neutral tone eyeshadow palette, you are set. I will link everything down in the description bar below where to find it and prices and all that stuff, but this was really affordable. Okay, so next on the list, I have been absolutely dying and loving, this Morphe Cosmetics 35F palette. It is just like, this is one of my dream palettes, just because one, it's got a bunch of glitter on it. Look, just bam, glitter everywhere. But two, I really enjoy the shade range. You've got this really bright, beautiful like set of plums, and then you've also got like your taupe matte colors, and then you've got like these really light shimmery golds that kind of remind me of like champagne. And I just die over this little compilation of eyeshadow colors. It's great. So Morphe is a very affordable brand. I believe you can get this at Ulta for $23, but a lot of times they do the coupons, like the $3.50 off 15 or the 20% off. So you're looking at a really good deal, especially for 35 eyeshadow shades. Let me just show you how pigmented they are. Let me just show you here real quick. Morphe, you may or may not have heard about the controversy with them, but I don't really listen to all that. I just go based off of quality. And hi, hello, pigmentation. Where am I going here? Pigmentation here. That was just one swipe. The color payoff with these is absolutely insane, especially for the price point. Hate on Morphe if you will, or don't hate on them. I don't really care, but I love their products and I love their palettes in particular. They're just such a good deal, and I feel like for what you get, it's awesome. My next favorite palette, and I'm gonna sound like such a basic girl here for saying this, but anybody else out there just love Jaclyn Hill? Like, I die over her. She is just the cutest thing known to man, and she created a palette with Morphe. And I just have to say, hats off to her. And clearly this is a very well-loved palette. Like you can see like all the little specks of, I use this a lot on my brides. A lot on my brides. Just because of, like, look at the shade range. And they have really cute names too. She named them all really, really well. But you have these really fun pops of color here, which if you know anything about me, I love a good pop of color. Like it's just, they're everything. Like every palette needs a pop of color. But then you also have here a ton of transition shades. Like this whole palette basically is just like one giant transition shade. But like they also have the dark matte colors that are cool toned over here that really balance out the really warm transition shades here. And yeah, if you're a fan of Jaclyn Hill, this is just a must-have. You need. I also feel like even if you're not a fan of her, this is still a great palette and it's a great price point. I can't remember the exact price point of it, but once again, you can buy it. You can buy it at Ulta, and they also allow you to use the coupons with this as well. Okay, and then my last more affordable Morphe palette that I just love is the Morphe 350. And this one is just an absolute no fail, no brainer. Like everybody needs this one in their lives. Like I'm not even kidding you. Like this is, you need this. It has, whoop, I'm not kidding you, you need this. It has every single color you could possibly need for a fall makeup look, for a fun summer look. Like you've got everything in here for all seasons. And like I said, very affordable per pan here. Just great quality, really great quality. Like, oh, hold on, I gotta show you this color. This color is just one of my favorites. Like, just look at how pretty that is. That is a gorgeous color. I love that one. That one is great for all over the lid. It really is. Oh no, I have stuff all over my hands now. Okay, so now it's time to dive into the more expensive of my favorite palettes. But if you really are interested in makeup and it's something that you love, I feel like you should be able to invest in nice stuff. So my first, like, I can't get over this palette and how pretty it is. This is the Urban Decay Vice Palette. And I know this is gonna sound like really weird that I love this palette so much, but like, look at how fun the colors are. These are so great. I love making like mermaid kind of unicorn eye looks. Ooh. With this palette. It's just, these are the perfect shades to make you look like you're a freaking mermaid, okay? It's just, I love the colorful aquas, I love the bright purples, I love the warm transition shade here in the corner. I love the warm transition shade here in the corner, and I love the dark browns, and it's just a really fun palette, and I think everybody needs at least one really fun palette in their life. So, moving on. My next favorite must-have palette is the Modern Renaissance palette. Hello, 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 hello. This has been my favorite. This really is my favorite palette. If I ever lost it, I mean, let's be honest, I'd probably just go and buy a new one, but I'd be really sad. But seriously, these colors though. Like, you're joking me, right? These are the prettiest things I've ever seen in my life. Okay, so looks really scary, looks really intimidating, but this pink color here and this red color here looks so pretty on so many different eye colors. Like, just about any eye color can pull this whole palette off. You cannot believe how many times a day I get complimented when I wear this eyeshadow palette. Like most of the colors in the palette itself, my eyes really stand out, and I feel like it's just a very you could make it as soft as you want or as deep and smoky as you want. Like, I feel like just this palette has so many wonderful shade ranges, and you would never think like, oh, pink eyeshadow. Like, usually when you think pink, you think very childish, very like, you know, preteen type stuff, but this really takes it from like preteen to adult. Like, this is an adult palette, and it's really one of my absolute favorites. I love it so much. Okay, so the next palette that I have been dying over is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. One, it smells like heaven, okay? Like, I just opened it up and I'm already like, I can smell it. The smell of peaches is just, it's great. This palette has an interesting range of textures. So this one has a lot of, it has mattes, but it also has glitter, like a glittery shade here. It's got a lot of like frosty colors here, and then it's also got some shimmers, and we've got the mattes too. But I love the textures of these shadows. They're great. They're really, really great, and I think you can create a wide range of looks with this. I think you can go really light and girly and cute and dainty, like for the day, and then work your way over to this side of the palette and make it more nighttime appropriate, whatever eye look you're going for. So this palette, Sweet Peach, it's a goodie. And the last one I have. Okay, so this is going to be a bit, maybe it's a bit redundant, considering I just showed you guys the 350 palette, but the Naked Heat palette. So, in my honest opinion, now that I have been doing makeup for a long time, and I know what good quality eyeshadows are, and I know what bad quality eyeshadows are, I would say that the other Naked palettes are not my favorite. I find that some of them can be kind of chalky, and I find that a lot of them are kind of lackluster. But for some reason, Urban Decay really stepped up their game with making the Heat palette. They changed their formula or something, because now their mattes are so buttery and pigmented, and they blend so well. Like the other ones, they would skip and they would be kind of patchy. I don't know, it's just, they haven't been my favorite, but I was a little hesitant to buy the Naked Heat, but for sure, the Naked Heat palette is something that you need in your life. Like, this is a great warm tone, ooh! This is a great warm toned eyeshadow palette. It's got everything you would need. And I just find that the case is way more sturdy. It's really hard plastic, but it's magnetic as well, whereas some of these are, this one was just sort of like a clip and push type thing, not real sturdy, but this with the magnet, it's so satisfying. It's like, so nice. Anyways, now that I've gone through my essential eyeshadow palettes here, I think everybody's kind of got an idea of things that I really, really, really like, and things that like I would recommend, but you know, I would say this one I use the most, and my Modern Renaissance and my 350. Those are my most loved and most used palettes, but everything here has a place in my heart. So if you guys have any questions, if you have any recommendations of palettes for me to try, I mean, I'm sure I've probably tried it, just kidding. No, but if you really do have a palette recommendation, just leave me a comment down below and I will check it out. I will check it out. Hope this was helpful to you, and I am actually going to be doing a demonstration on how to apply the Morphe 350 palette, and just to show you some of the basics. We went through pretty in depth here how to pick a good eyeshadow palette, but I'm going to show you how to actually apply your eyeshadow palette. So stay tuned for that. Guys, how in the heck is one supposed to choose from all of this? I mean, like, this is ridiculous. Like, and this isn't even on my palettes. It's becoming a real problem, guys. Okay, so I'm going to start this tutorial by basically just doing a neutral eye look. I know not everybody is into the super crazy eye tutorials and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with something basic, very neutral, very easy to achieve, but looks like you spent a lot of time on it. I will do some fun eye looks later, but being that this is going to be like the second video on my channel, I'd like to keep it pretty standard and then we'll work from there. So I discussed earlier all of my personal favorite eyeshadow palettes, and I also shared with you my very favorite affordable and neutral palette, and that would be the Morphe 350 eyeshadow palette. You can see here, just look at how gorgeous these shades are. You've got a perfect mix of your mattes, your shimmers, your glitters. I mean, you've got everything in here. So this is my personal favorite eyeshadow palette to do a neutral look with. Going to grab myself a mirror because, as we learned in my last video, it's really difficult to do an eyeshadow look or anything relating to your face without a mirror. I'm actually going to use my Urban Decay Vice Palette because it has like the most massive mirror on earth. Basically, what you need with an eyeshadow palette is you need versatility. And what I mean by that is it's got a little bit of like warms and cools. It's also got light shades and dark shades. And then we also have this thing called transition shades. Those shades are going to be what we use to bring our eye look from our natural skin tone into the darker colors that we put on our lid. The transition colors usually, in my opinion, are matte, and they are kind of like my ideal transition color would be something like this. And I know it sounds really scary, but what a transition color will do is it will transition you from your, you know, basic skin color and add sort of another definition or another dimension to your eyeshadow look. Or even something like this, which again looks really weird, sounds probably really gross, it's like a pukey color, but those work really, really well for your transition color. So I'm just going to get started with that, and I will show you all of the shadow colors as I do them. I'm also going to be showing you the brushes that I'm using, and I have just a couple with me here. These ones I have shown you all before. These are Real Techniques brushes, and then I also have a Sigma. This is a small tapered blending brush. It is the E45. And then I also have here the Airbrush Blending Crease. Excuse me. I also have the Airbrush Blending Crease brush here from IT Cosmetics. So these are kind of my staple pieces for an eye look, and I know it seems kind of excessive to have this many, but in my personal opinion, I think it's good to have different sizes and different density in the brushes and different bristle lengths. So I'll explain to you all of that when I get there. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking the small tapered brush from Sigma, and I will be using this color here as a transition shade. This is going to be the very first shade I apply to the lid area. Bear with me, guys, this is still a work in progress. So I'm just taking very little product, and I'm literally going to just focus it here on my crease and go back and forth and back and forth in windshield wiper motions. This is going to make sure that the product is evenly distributed from one corner of the eye to the other. Now, with different eye looks, sometimes you may want to focus the color more on the outer part, or if you're doing a halo eye is where you take the darker colors on the inner and the outer corner and leave the middle lighter, and then also pack in like a lighter color in the center just to sort of make your eyes look bigger. But we we can get there. We'll get there eventually. So I'm just taking this and I'm still blending it. And what I like to do is I like to hold it on this end, like kind of the tail end. I try not to do it really close because I find that I get almost too much control with my eyeshadow brush. So I really try to hold it out here, and then I can get a little more of like the diffusing sort of, the diffuse sort of look here. Alright, so you can see there we've got that first color down. So now that we have that base transition shade on, I'm going to do something just here on the outer V of my eyes. And actually what I'm going to use, I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to take this Real Techniques shading brush. And this is going to be used to concentrate a lot of the pigment on the outer V. So I'm going to be taking this shade right here in the palette. And this shade is just going to deepen up and give my eye look kind of just more depth and dimension. So I'm just taking this and I'm pushing this here and packing it on the outer portion of my eye. And I'm just concentrating it here because I'll show you in a second what this is gonna do. And I'm just gonna add a little bit more. And then I'm going to take the shader crease brush that I used for that transition shade, and I'm going to use it with the extra product still on it. I'm going to go through and I'm going to blend it back and forth again and make sure that all of the colors sort of melt together. I've been really thinking about it, and I just can't believe in like how many years time I've been doing makeup, like how much I have learned just by doing. Not necessarily from like watching anybody. I mean, other YouTube tutorials help, but can't believe how much I've learned just in like the few short years I've been practicing on myself and others. You kind of want your eyeshadow to blend from like your skin into the eye look. Kind of want to be able to not tell where it starts or stops. So what I do is I just sort of like kind of just feather this out, and it just sort of helps to diffuse the harsh lines of where the shadow starts and stops. And you guys can see that there's like a nice little gradient there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take more of a different color on the flat shader brush from Real Techniques, and I'm going to be taking some of the warmer color here. It's kind of like almost a dark terracotta clay sort of color, but I feel like this will really add a nice tone to the eye look. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of that and pack that on top of where that neutral brown was. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Any sort of red tones or clay tones really, I think, flatter a lot of eye colors and skin types and skin tones. So now I'm just taking, once again, that crease brush that I was using at the beginning, and I'm just working this in, making sure it all blends. Okay. All right, we're rolling. I just have to say how much I love this LipSense color. This is Beige Champagne. Yes, Beige Champagne. Look at how pretty it is. It's like this perfect neutral frosty color, and I die of it every time. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a all over lid color, and what this is going to do is this is going to like really highlight your eyelid and make it appear bigger. So what I do is I take my medium shadow brush from Real Techniques, and this is just sort of like a flat tapered brush, and this is going to be used to pack our glitter shimmery eyeshadow on. You don't have to do glitter or shimmer. You can always just pack a lighter color on your lid, but for me personally, I am very extra and I like to put a lot of glitter in my life. So yeah, we're gonna be taking, oh, I gotta show you what color I'm using, duh. I'm taking, this color right here. I hate that Morphe shadows don't have names because it would be nice to just be able to like reference it, but whatever, it's fine. So I'm just taking it and I'm just going to be packing this all over my lid area, avoiding the outer V, of course. Not sure I like this tone. Maybe I can add stuff on top of it. That's the other thing about makeup, is you make it what you want. If you're not happy with the tone of the eyeshadow that you're putting on and you see something that would maybe alter it to your liking, then just put the eyeshadow on top and see where it goes. I mean, really, worst come to worst, you just use a baby wipe and take it all off. I mean, not that big of a deal. All right, so I think what I want to do is I want to make this a little bit more of a gold tone. So I'm going to go in here with this color right next to it. And I'm going to see if this will add, because I feel like with my lip color, I really need to add sort of a bit of a gold element to it, and I think this would really do the trick. So I'm just gonna go in and right over top of where I put that first color, I'm just going to pack this on. Ah, there we go. That's the color I was wanting. Yes. Yes, honey. You better work. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some eyeliner, but I don't really want to show that to you right now. So I'm going to do that off camera and I will be right back. And I'm back. Okay, so I just have one last thing that I want to add to my eye look just to make it complete. So what I'm going to do now that I have my lashes and my mascara on, and the key is make sure your mascara is dry before you do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take some of this color here, the one that I put and packed on the outer V. I'm going to take this and I'm going to smudge it along my lash line using the shader brush here from Real Techniques. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this using my mirror because, well, you know, I can't do it without it, so. And I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to I feel like it just really completes it when I have something kind of going on underneath my eyes. And that is that. Pretty easy, right? Okay, so we went over all of my favorite palettes. We went through all of my favorite drugstore, or not drugstore necessarily, but affordable, and then my more high-end palettes. And I really want to know from you guys, which ones of my collection do you already have? Which ones do you want? Were there any that you've tried from my collection that you don't enjoy, or anything like that? Any of your input would be great if you guys would just comment down below and tell me your thoughts, and if any of this was helpful. Maybe some of these, you have a birthday coming up, maybe some of these could be on your list. I don't know. But anyways, I will be seeing you all in my next video, and don't forget to subscribe, like this video. Make sure you click the bell icon as well. It'll let you know when I post, and it will give you a little ding. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Okay, see you next time, babes. Bye.